What's happening, everybody? Well, in this installment of What Is He Up To Today? Well, I have just completed swapping out front engine accessory drive belt on this 2017 DS Ram. This belt has about 175,000 or so miles on it. Do as I say, not as I do type of a thing. Actually, the belt itself doesn't really seem to be showing too many signs of wear, although the coloration is significantly different than the belt that's there. But you can probably imagine this is, a lot of miles of wear and tear on this thing. It's about time to swap it out. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to get you guys an install video, but as you can see, there's not a whole lot of room there. You don't have to remove the fan shroud, but you will have to, once you get the belt around the fan and get it in front of the front engine accessory drive, you'll have, when you start your routing, you will have to re-lasso it to get the belt around the tensioner and that water pump. But it's not really all that complicated. It's pretty easily laid out. So just going over the DS Ram, I'll be putting together my DT Ram review here pretty soon. We're coming up on, well, it's over 10,000 miles and coming up on a 1-year ownership. I've had this DS though for quite a while now, coming up on 5 years. And I've really enjoyed this truck quite a bit. There are some subtle differences, especially in the tune with the way these vehicles run. There are some things that I like about the DS Ram. I like the intake design better on the DS than I do on the DT. This truck runs good, by the way, guys. Yes, recently, you can see down in there, real brand new, pretty shiny water pump. There you go. That's really the only major issue this truck has had, and that was at 170,000 miles. Hemi tick, just meaning that it had a few of the manifold bolts had snapped. That was at 90,000 miles. But aside from that, guys, this truck has been really good and continues to be as well. This thing runs obnoxiously good for what it is. Just a little tradesman quad cab pickup truck. And I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, yeah, I get it. It's just a pickup truck. It's a work appliance. But man, this thing sure does make it fun to scoot around in. It's quick. It's fun. It rides nice. Can't really ask for too much more out of work vehicles. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up. And while I'm at it, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't give you guys the part number for that belt. Again, this is for the DS Ram. Not sure if this works for the DT. Haven't really had to mess with that without the e-torque. With the e-torque, this definitely is not the belt for you, but there's your part number just in case you're wanting to tackle this on your own. The more I crow about this thing and how good it runs, by the way, in the heat, it just dragged you to 14.5 flat at like 97 miles an hour. Admittedly, on a little bit on the light side on fuel, but it does have the spare tire and the jack and all that other stuff in the truck. One thing I will say, though, is the intake system on these DS Rams is far and away, at least to my eye, superior to the DT, where the DT basically comes right off the throttle body and then right over into the airbox. A good airbox, don't get me wrong, has a front-facing snorkel for fresh air, so that's working in its favor. But this thing is just, again, to my eye, a lot cleaner draw into that throttle body. I know there's an aftermarket solution for the DT Ram. I just need to verify that it works with the e-torque, but I'm going to try to bring you guys that and get y'all some data too. Well, I figured instead of talking about it, I'd rather just show you so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't know that that's really much of a performance killer at all. You can see how that airbox, you can see that tube running into the back part of the grill there. It just seems to my eye that that is not as good, maybe, of an intake, although that might be splitting hairs. The data on this truck looks pretty good, though. KPA data would suggest that this thing really isn't hurting performance at all, but I don't know, I'd still like to try an aftermarket unit just to see if I can get some cleaner data than what the stock unit gives, but it's still pretty good nonetheless, even though it looks weird. All right, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. You don't really need too many tools for this, but this is what I used. It is a 3/8 inch adapter on a 1/2 inch ratchet. And really, it's kind of funny still to me that some manufacturers are running these little 3/8 of an inch adapters on their tensioner pulleys, but that's what we're working with. So anyway, to get the leverage that I needed to just make it easier, put the adapter on a long 1/2-inch drive ratchet. Made life pretty easy for that install. So with that, y'all have a great one. We'll catch you on the next one. Adios.